Hey, got a delivery today from one of my favorite places, Rock Auto. They don't sponsor me. I wish they did. If they want to, I'm more than happy to take their money. And what we got? Front rear brake pads. So, guess what we're doing today? Yank some wheels off and we'll be right back. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here today is the rear brakes. As if the weather holds up on me. Anyway, pull the rear wheel off. I'm not going to bore you with that. It's pretty simple. I cleaned up the rear backing plate, the disc backing plate, with a wire wheel on a cordless drill. Just cleaned it up and repainted it. It was a little bit rusty. Used the wire wheel on the caliper a little bit, take off some of the surface rust. And I've lubricated the pin. There's a pin in the center that needs to be driven out. So I'm just going to let that soak in for a minute, and then we're going to drift that pin out. It retains the, if you can see from the side here, on the back, see this pin that goes through the center? Let's get that closer. See the pin that goes through the center? It retains this clip and holds the two pads, the hole in the top of the two pads, and it holds them in there. So these pads are pretty much toast. There's about 3 millimeters of pad left on them, as you can see down here. About 3 millimeters of pad after the backing plate, so these are pretty close to gone. So anyway, we'll let that soak for a few minutes. While I'm doing that, I also soaked the rear suspension again in, I made another video on it, but it was this Admiral food grade, food appliance, industrial washing machine lubricant that works on rubber and steel and everything else. It's like a lubricant penetrant moisture displacer, blah blah blah, and it's worked for about 6 weeks in my car now. There hasn't been a single squeak in the suspension, so I figured while I'm under here I'll just add some more. Can't hurt. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I just started tapping the center pin out after it got loose, and we'll slide this out. The spring clip popped out with it. We're going to clean these up on the bench grinder, and the pads should now slip out, but we're going to be pulling the caliper off so we can retract the piston and make sure there's no nothing seizing up in there, make sure there's no stiffness in there. Anyway, pull those pads out. I'll pull the caliper off. It's two 17 millimeter bolts in the back, one on top and one on the bottom. They're just two 17s. Take those off and we'll have the caliper off. Actually, you can see here, I didn't even have to pull the caliper off. I tried retracting the pistons themselves just by gently pushing each piston against. I'm using like a large pry bar. You can use a screwdriver. If the pistons push gently back into their bores, there's no reason to take the caliper off, because that means they're not seized. They're not. There's not going to be a problem there. So just snug the two. These are a dual piston setup on the back. There's one on the outside and one on the inside here. And where's my brake cleaner? Uh-oh, I'm almost out. Spray them down with brake cleaner. You're looking for any tears or cracks in the boots. Obviously, with these ones moving in and out as easily as they did, there's probably nothing in there that's going to be a problem. So, and we're going to slide the new pads in. I'm going to clean up these, the top and bottom of the caliper there. I'm going to clean those off a little bit with a wire brush and get some of the crap off of there, so just the pads slide in and out easier and don't get stuck. But just cleaning it all up and then spray it down with brake cleaner again. So we'll do that. We're going to clean this up a little bit. I've got a small wire brush here on a it's not wire, this is like a, it's like a Fabrica light sanding thingy. I don't know what you call it. But that'll be able to get in there good and take out some of the crud. And it's not as harsh as a wire brush, so if it touches the boot, it's not going to really wreck anything. pads on. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, here's the old pads. You can see how worn out they were. Pretty bad compared to the new ones. The new ones didn't come with an anti-squeal pad on the back. I just popped the original Mercedes ones off. These are probably the original pads from the dealership, for God's sakes. I don't know, it's got a date on it of 07. I don't know if that means anything or not. No clue. But anyway, I'm going to use the silicone anti-squeal grease that came with these and just attach those back on. They're not going to move off there anyway. Putting the anti-squeal grease that came with these on the back. That tasted good. And I'm going to put some between the pad backing and the squeal, the anti-squeal backing. Depending on the brakes you buy, it may come with new spring clips, new everything. These ones didn't. Okay, so now we're going to slip these into the caliper. Actually, I got some anti-seize here that we're going to put on too. Try to put this camera down. You can see what I'm doing. Be careful not to get this on the rotor. You just want this on the caliper where the pads are going to slide up and down, just so they don't get caught, stuck. And we're also going to put some on the retainer pin, so it's not a pain in the ass to get out next time. So we're going to slip the pads back in. All 4 pads are the exact same. One, two, and just this again, this kit did not come with a new spring or pin, so we've got to use the old one again. And get in there. Okay, so we're just going to slip the pin through from the back. That pad needs to be tapped in a tiny bit. Kind of awkward because I don't want to block off the camera. Okay. This pin you want to push in past flush. You want it to go. Sorry, I'm doing my best not to get in the way of the camera, but I have to go behind anyway. Come on, you. There we go. And in. Okay, and that's it. This, if you can see up the front here, there was a little bit of a crack here on the front where the pin comes through. I don't really like that on the caliper. This was where the pin comes through from the back and it pinches. There is a retaining collar on the back part where it goes through. This is what actually retains it. This is just where the pin goes through. I don't think this is a problem, but I doubt these brakes have ever been off before. I did my first initial little tap here and a whole chunk came out of the side of the caliper here where the pin goes through. I don't think that's going to be a big problem, but I am going to monitor it and just be careful with yours. If I'm assuming if that can happen to mine, it can happen to someone else's, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a big problem. Like I said, it's the pin is held in from the back. There's a sleeve around the pin that retains it in there, and this is just a locator. So anyway, that's one side. The other side will be done 15-20 minutes aside, I guess. Just make sure to soak stuff in penetrant, especially the pin. If the pin is sticking, you have a small pair of vice grips. You can grab the pin and wiggle it up and down, try and turn it, lubricate it. Don't beat the living snot out of it. Again, I didn't beat the living crap out of it. I tapped it a couple of times and this cracked off. So it's possible that someone did this job in the past a little heavy-handed. So anyway, hopefully that helps you. And we're just going to clean this disc up with some brake cleaner, and we'll be good to go.